And lastly, this question comes from Nathan Barrington. Only now a couple weeks until the UK Open, the first ranking major of the season. Nathan Barrington asks, any early tips for the UK Open? A Premier League player to win it or not?
Oh, yeah, that is a good one. And of course, our tips are doing really well in the Premier League. So we're going to try and transfer that to the UK Open. But it is a really hard tournament to predict and seems like an easy answer. But you've only got to look at the Roll of Honour for this event. It's been going for more than 20 years. This is going to be the 21st staging of it in Minehead coming up. And Phil Taylor, he won it 5 times in 14 appearances. And you compare that to his strike rate in the World Championship and the World Match Play. And he only got to one other final as well. And Michael van Gerwen, 15 appearances he's had in the event, and he's won it 3 times. So that goes to show just how hard this tournament is to win. It is the FA Cup of Darts. You do have the random draw. And like for the players, you can't map out your section of the draw. You are going into the unknown every time in that draw, who you're going to get. And going from the afternoon to the evening session as well, you're not quite sure when you're going to be playing in that session. So it's a quick turnaround on both of those first 2 days of the event. And then on the Sunday, sometimes it can just come down to survival of the fittest, playing the 3 games in one day. We've seen that in the past. So, yeah, I think we might see a different winner this year. A Premier League player to win it or not, that would be a good market to have open. I'm not sure what the odds would be. The Premier League players, they would be the favourite, having those 8 to choose from. But I've got a feeling we're going to see another first-time winner again here, and maybe a Luke Humphries, maybe a Dirk van Dijvenbode, who we've talked up quite a lot recently. I'll go with Luke Humphries, world number 5, so it's not a huge shout, but it does feel like he has a point to prove this year after missing out on the Premier League, and no better way to do it than to win the next TV event you're in. And like I said about Dirk last week, he's a player that I think once he gets that major title on his CV, he will be in the Premier League, and barring a complete drop in form. But I think they'll kick on from that, get more results, keep that high ranking, and make it impossible for the PDC not to put him in. So, yeah, I'm going to pick a name that's outside the Premier League at the moment. I'm going to go with Luke Humphries.
Well, so far this year, if you look, okay, Johnny Clayton's leading the averages, and averages aren't everything. But number 2 player, not in the Premier League. Number 3, not in the Premier League. Number 4, not in the Premier League. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, not in the Premier League. The number 71 player in averages is in the Premier League. Michael van Gerwen. Of course, that one really, really bad match where he averaged lower than Paula Jacklin.
Oh, yes.
Helped drop him down that. And he's only played 1 weekend. But, there's a lot of players who aren't in the Premier League who are off to really good start. And that shows the depth in darts. I'm gonna go as well, a player who's not in to win it. I don't know who. Luke Humphries, obviously a good tip, former finalist here. Ryan Searle, not a former finalist in this event, but a former finalist in this venue. He made the final, the Players' Championship final, losing out in a last leg decider to Peter Wright a few years ago, but off to a really good start, and that breakthrough's coming. Damon Hedda, another player, the breakthrough will come for him in a major. Maybe it'll be at the UK Open. As you said, the UK Open throws up a lot of surprises. None of those 3 winning would really be a surprise to anyone who watches darts. But if we think of anyone who isn't a Premier League player winning it, then it would be a surprise. And in that regard, yeah, I think I'm going to go outside the Premier League for this. I think also not being in the Premier League just might make these players that little bit fresher, even though it's not that far from Exeter to Minehead. But having that extra day, especially with how draining the weekend is, might make the difference. So, yeah, I'll also say a non-Premier League player to win it.